Welcome to History Decoded.
These towering beasts, meant to crush the Romans, ended up causing chaos in Hannibal's own ranks. Stay with us as we decode this fascinating story of strategy and mishap. Our story begins in 218 BCE, when Hannibal Barca, the brilliant Carthaginian general, crossed the Alps with his formidable army and launched an unexpected assault on Rome. For over a decade, Hannibal terrorized the Roman Republic, winning battle after battle. From the frozen peaks of the Alps to the plains of Cannae, Hannibal's strategic genius left the Romans reeling, and his elephants became symbols of Carthaginian might. Despite his numerous victories, Hannibal's campaign faced logistical issues. His army was far from home, and Carthage's support was inconsistent. Rome, bruised but unbroken, adapted to Hannibal's tactics, avoiding direct confrontations and focusing on cutting off his supply lines. The Romans adopted a strategy of attrition, led by Fabius Maximus, also known as the Delayer. They waged a war of endurance rather than immediate victories, buying time to rebuild their strength. By 204 BCE, the Romans, led by their daring and ambitious general Publius Cornelius Scipio, devised a bold plan. Scipio aimed not to confront Hannibal directly in Italy, but to strike at Carthage itself, forcing the Carthaginians to recall Hannibal from his Italian campaign. Scipio's plan was risky but brilliant. In 204 BCE, he landed in North Africa with a well-trained Roman army and a determination to bring the war to Carthage's doorstep. His initial campaigns were a resounding success. Scipio forged alliances with local Numidian leaders, especially the powerful King Massinissa. Whose cavalry would prove crucial in the upcoming battles. Scipio's presence in Africa forced the Carthaginian Senate to act. They summoned Hannibal from Italy, the general who had been Rome's nightmare for over a decade. Hannibal, aware of the gravity of the situation, reluctantly abandoned his Italian campaign and returned home. The stage was now set for a final showdown between these two great military minds. The Battle of Zama took place in 202 BCE on the plains outside the city of Zama, near modern-day Tunisia. Scipio had a well-prepared army, consisting of Roman legions and Numidian cavalry. His forces were disciplined, experienced, and motivated, as they had seen victory in Africa and knew that defeating Hannibal would end the war once and for all. Hannibal, on the other hand, faced challenges. His troops were a mix of veterans from Italy and newly recruited forces from Africa, lacking the cohesion and experience of his previous armies. He still had war elephants, and he hoped to use them as a psychological weapon against the Roman soldiers, just as he had done in the past. Before the battle, Hannibal and Scipio met face-to-face to discuss peace terms. The meeting was brief and tense. Both generals knew that compromise was unlikely. The fate of two empires hung in the balance, and only one could emerge victorious. On the day of the battle, Hannibal deployed his forces with the war elephants at the front, intending to break the Roman lines and create chaos. Behind them were infantry units, including his veterans from Italy as well as newly conscripted troops. Hannibal's cavalry, weakened compared to his Italian campaigns, was stationed on the flanks. Scipio arranged his army in a traditional Roman formation, with infantry in the center and Numidian cavalry on the wings. However, he devised a clever tactic to counter Hannibal's elephants. Instead of arranging his troops in a solid line, he created lanes between the units, allowing the elephants to charge through without causing much harm. When the battle commenced, Hannibal's elephants charged, but Scipio's strategy worked. The Roman soldiers stood firm, and the Numidian cavalry harassed the flanks. Many of the elephants panicked, turned back, and trampled Carthaginian lines, creating confusion. The Roman infantry, seeing the disorder, advanced. A brutal clash ensued between the main infantry forces. Hannibal's veterans fought valiantly, but the Numidian cavalry, led by Massinissa, circled back to attack the Carthaginian rear, delivering a decisive blow. As the battle raged, Scipio's tactical brilliance and the Roman discipline shone through. Hannibal's army, though resilient, was caught in a pincer movement. The Numidian cavalry's attack from behind and the relentless push of the Roman legions in the front proved overwhelming. Hannibal's troops, isolated and surrounded, began to fall apart. The Carthaginian general, witnessing the collapse, tried to rally his forces, but the Roman and Numidian alliance was too powerful. The tide had turned irreversibly in favor of Rome. The Battle of Zama was a decisive Roman victory. Hannibal, realizing the battle was lost, managed to escape with a handful of his men. Scipio, now hailed as Scipio Africanus for his triumph, returned to Rome as a hero. The Roman Republic imposed harsh terms on Carthage, ensuring they would never again rise as a military threat. Carthage lost its territories, navy, and autonomy in foreign affairs. Hannibal, despite his genius and heroism, could not prevent Carthage's downfall. He continued to serve as a statesman, and later as a mercenary for other powers, but remained an enemy of Rome until his death. The Battle of Zama not only ended the Second Punic War, but also marked the rise of Rome as the dominant power in the Mediterranean. The victory laid the foundations for Roman expansion and eventual transformation into an empire. The lessons of Zama in strategy and resilience became legends in military history, studied for generations. Thank you for watching History Decoded. The Battle of Zama was a turning point that shaped the course of history, and its legacy remains a testament to the power of leadership and strategy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to join us on more epic journeys through history. Until next time, keep decoding the past with us.